Hey, friends, let me take this moment to address this great soul sickness that we have. And it has to do with guns. It has to do with dead kids and teachers. Um, but as I've shared with several of you in previous videos, I have begun this 6-month fellowship to minister the soul of the nation, and um, I, I resist posting on Facebook um, anything that just is like an echo chamber of my values, or just saying, "Hey, it is the guns and mental health crisis." It's like it just feels like almost nothing I do on Facebook outside of these videos. I should say almost everything outside of these videos for me feels performative. Like I'm just virtue signaling. Like, oh yeah, I wish those kids weren't dead. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to worry about gun violence. But I want to talk to you about the soul of our nation and how the presence of assault rifles, as well as all the conditions that lead a person to use them against innocent children and teachers, is a direct violation of our nation's soul. It's uh, a death by 1,000 cuts and 1,000 bullets. So I want to talk about how and why we're here, and really what we can do today, in the next 2 weeks, to shut it down and get what we want, get a government committed to fulfilling the purpose of our great nation. So, friends, bison, country folk, we have a great soul as a nation. It's got three key parts: e pluribus unum, from many one, which is the deeper, reflects a deeper spiritual archetypal truth across cultures. That is, we become one when we love another as much as ourselves. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and all created equal. And to stand up a government that fulfills on those purposes, on those three key pieces. And we are not able to do that right now. We are being held hostage by a death cult, a treasonous death cult that is intent on power at the expense of our great purpose and the well-being of children and teachers, and really all of our peace of mind. Everyone I know who's got kids is talking about starting a homeschool, leaving the country, claiming asylum. I mean, we are being held hostage. So I get it. And I also want to invite you to not leave, to not start your homeschool, to actually do something that will allow all of us to breathe better, not just your privileged white ass. And I think you know what I mean. So, e pluribus unum, from many one. When we love another as much as ourselves, we become one. Having a society where we don't love one another allows for mental illness to go unchecked. So, I don't mean to put all this on you all, or us all as individuals, and how many of us live in neighborhoods where we're not connected with one another, where we're not socially integrated, we're not checking in on people who seem to be isolating or not doing so well. Specifically, young men. Um, how many of us walk past folks who are struggling, who are living on the streets? We're not loving one another as much as we love ourselves when we do that. And of course, we've got institutions that are designed to keep us out of that, right? Um, Facebook is trying to get all of our non-work time. Work is trying to get all of our non-work time. Uh, Consumerism, trying to get all of our non-work time, right? Everyone's trying to get our time, and basically keep our attention for themselves so that we're not checking in on one another. So that's what there is to do. And obviously, when we don't do that, we create the conditions for people to be mentally unwell and to seek significance, to be heard, and to through the use of violence, in many cases, school shootings. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Right? It should be pretty self-evident that in a heavily mentally ill and weaponized world, That's not happening, right? Over the last 3 years, we've lost 3 years of life expectancy just from the pandemic alone. And now there's a significant risk, or that there has been for several decades, since we did not renew the assault rifle ban. So we have less life. We're afraid. Some of us are catching bullets, and some of us are being ended by them. Uh, we're not free, because if we're afraid of everyone with a gun, we ain't free. We're in a prison that we think we're free, and we keep building higher walls. You know, and we're not obviously pursuing happiness. Like, the very existence of school shootings means that we cannot. The best we can do is ignore or deny that happens. But we're not pursuing happiness if that stuff's happening. And then last and most important is all created equal. When we privilege the rights of gun owners, of assault weapon owners over everyone else, we are not creating a place where all are equal. We are creating a new class of citizen who has the right and ability to gun us all down. And maybe the police force steps in time, maybe not. If they're black, they're going to get shot. But if they're white, maybe they'll live a little bit longer, see the inside of a jail cell instead of a coffin. So we've created these conditions. We've allowed this to happen on our watch. And this is treasonous. Like, this is domestic terrorism. And we are complicit. We're all complicit in these conditions. And I think a big piece of that, of the solution, is us just owning that we created all these conditions that allow for mentally unwell people to terrorize our schools, families, neighborhoods. So that's part one. Owning that this is a treasonous expression. We are not supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be safe. We're supposed to be living long, happy lives, pursuing our purpose, our dharma. We're supposed to be on equal footing with everybody, whether they got a gun or not. So here's what I want to suggest. No more thoughts and prayers, that we just shut it down. And so what does that mean? Some of us got off our asses in 2020. Many more of us got off our asses in the late 60s, early 70s. But we need to look abroad. The people who actually shut it down. Look what they're doing in France, shutting it down, right? So what I want to suggest is that we clog the freeways and park perpendicularly. So the freeway's going this way, you're parking that way. And the last car, get 5 or 6 guys to bounce it into place. Barricade made of cars. Give yourselves another 20 feet, set up another barricade. Another 20 feet, set up another barricade. In your car, you're going to bring a pup tent. One of those shade structures. You're going to bring a sleeping bag. You're going to bring a 3-day cooler. You're going to bring camping chairs, outdoor beach chairs. And you're not going to leave until we have comprehensive reform. Comprehensive reform. That doesn't mean just assault weapon bans. That means all the conditions that create somebody wanting to do that. Meaning we shut it down. I don't want to suggest we do this on April 15th, tax day. So obviously don't pay your taxes until we get comprehensive reform. Barricade the freeways, shut down the entire economy. Nobody goes to work. Nobody gets anything they need. Companies don't get their workers, don't get their goods to market. Profitability takes a hit. Stock prices fall. Phones start to ring in DC. That's what we need. So what this means for those of us who live near freeways, I invite you all to not shut it down, but actually to support the ones who are shutting it down. So get a bunch of food, start cooking, preparing food. Bring water. Do runs to empty the latrine buckets, all that good stuff. And do not leave, do not stop until we have comprehensive reform. And what that looks like is Medicare for all plus mental health. What that looks like is an assault weapon ban and a robust turn-in program. So whatever your assault weapon is, you can turn it in and say get $5,000 or $10,000 towards college. Pretty good investment. Additionally, we need to put everyone to work who wants to work, so they can get their sources of fulfillment and meaning from contribution as opposed to destruction. So that means some sort of new deal where we're rebuilding our energy, transportation, and food infrastructure nationwide to reflect best practices. And anyone who wants a job can get one. And they are going to be paid a living wage. So a living wage New Deal, healthcare, mental health care for all, assault weapon ban, and aggressive, or I should say generous turn-in program. Don't leave the freeways until it happens. We'll keep bringing you food.